youth sports. Pretty much an overview of the history is that different cultures have different histories in sports. Older cultures will raise their younger generations and teach them through athletics and sports like that. Like Native Americans taught their youth how to play lacrosse, which had them prepare as a warrior mindset. African Americans had javelin, boxing, and wrestling, and the English had cricket. And while all those cultures date back thousands of years, formal organized athletic associations weren't established until the mid-19th century for the sole purpose to aid social issues because of ill health and juvenile delinquency. So they thought implementing sports programs would be a character-building event for the sake of camaraderie, integrity, and having a sense of competition among the youth, which is characteristics that are seen today in youth sports. Private schools were the first to provide athletic opportunities. These were actually organized first by students with very little faculty oversight. The Round School in Massachusetts was the first to add athletics to a curriculum, and that included physical education, and Charles Beck was the first physical education instructor. And then a couple years later, in the Gunnery School in Connecticut, they were the first to compete in athletics against outside competitors, to actually bring in other schools to compete against in sport programs. Those were all public schools. Those were all private schools. The public schools were late to embrace athletics and youth. Really, no public schools were implementing youth athletics until states started mandating athletic programs for state-funded schools. For non-school programs, the YMCA really blazed the trail. They were founded in 1844 in England, and then the YMCA came over to the U.S. in 1851. It emphasized individual values, which intertwines with religion and athletics. Other programs would later emerge with specific athletic goals, not just rounded out goals for various sporting events, like Little League Baseball, the American Youth Soccer Organization, and Pop Warner Football. There are various career opportunities in youth sports. You have athletic directors and league directors, just like with professional sports. They oversee every facet of contest management, hiring, supervising, policies, scheduling, etc. You have coaches, but because it's such a low level of athletics, really you have a lot of high demand, high maintenance for low paying, and these are people who still need all of the knowledge of a regular coach, so they need all the skills, all the knowledge of the sports that they are coaching. Then you have trainers and physical therapists, because it is required to have medical personnel on staff for many youth programs, including high school and various rec sports. And then of course you have the officials who oversee the games, but most of the time those are volunteer positions, and those are people who have part-time jobs just officiating those sports. Just to give you some numbers, in 1971 there were 3,960,932 high school athletes in America, and then in 2009 it's expanded to 7,508,000, etc., etc. So clearly it's a growing atmosphere. It's an environment that's constantly changing because of various demands within youth and high school sports. But there are many people who are torn on the idea of youth athletics. It's expensive, so the state has to pay for a lot for high school and rec sports. And then there's family costs, paying for equipment, jerseys, anything that may have to come along with the sport. Injuries. Obviously, you don't want to be 16 years old and blow out your knee or blow out your elbow, something like that. And it also may encourage steroid use. There's been several studies that have also found that a lot of high school football players are obese just because they put the biggest guys on the line that they can, so it kind of and then also it takes away from the focus of academics. So those are some issues that people have with high school and youth sports.
As for the format of high school athletics, there is the National Federation of High School Athletics that oversees all the states, and then it's the National Coordinator for High School Sports, and the NFHS is replicated at the state level by state associations who take care of high schools within their state, and it's also replicated regionally for them to oversee what's happening at each school. Sports administration is mostly a local affair. They have divisional sections which are based on school size, and regional sections which are based on the location of the school. Athens High School is currently in the Southeastern Ohio Athletic League, and basically these are necessary because every league requires that there's standardized rules, uniforms, and fields. Regulations create equality and safety for all participants. The National Federation of State High School Athletics' goal is to serve its members, related professional organizations, and students by providing leadership for the administration of education-based interscholastic activities, which support academic achievement, good citizenship, and equitable opportunities. There's also, to prepare kids for high school sports, they have youth programs all around the country. The best example of it is the Little League Baseball Association, and as well as Pop Warner Football and American Youth Soccer Organization. They have a large amount of participants and sports staff. There's 7.5 million kids right now involved in high school sports, and over 2 million coaches certified by the National Alliance for Youth Sports. A big challenging issue with high school and youth leagues right now is funding. Obviously the recession hits everybody, and schools are faced with old equipment, short-staffed or underpaid staff, or some schools have where you have to pay money to be able to play sports. You have to pay your own way for your equipment and travel. Another problem is drug testing. There's an inability to create and oversee fair play throughout high school sports, not so much youth leagues. And Title IX has taken, as a result, there can be funding taken away from more popular sports to allow equality throughout athletics. The OU men's soccer team would be an example of that. And in 2009, the West City School District in Columbus actually shut down all athletic activities for their school, so the athletes were forced to have to relocate and go somewhere else. There's plenty of career implications for me with high school and youth sports. I'd be interested in possibly sponsorship of high school and youth sports. They all need sponsors. There's, you take ads out in the programs and things like that. Athens High School apparel is sold at Walmart, so there's all kinds of opportunities to go out and market things with the school logo. Branding and licensing for high school and youth sports, there's plenty of opportunity there. And also public relations issues regarding young athletes, like media coverage of events, recruiting, news, things like that.
And career implications for myself, I'm a sport management major with an interest in event coordination and management, which pretty much has to do with any level of sports. People always have to be there to plan, organize those things. So youth sports, high school sports are actually great career builders if you're just looking for the first step in your career path to build up your resume and get going off into sport management world. But it's a wide range of options because, as we all know, sport management field is huge, and so there's plenty that we can do in youth sports, there's plenty we can do in professional and Right. So,
Yeah.
and that's all.
Good job.
Cool.